What makes a song the soundtrack of an entire summer? Is it the beat that takes over every party, or the lyrics that hit when the night slows down? This year, Spotify revealed its top 5 songs of summer 2025, and the results are sparking a heated debate. But before we jump into the details, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more updates. Every summer, Spotify curates the soundtrack that millions of listeners live by. Their Songs of Summer tradition follows the season in 3 stages: early predictions, a mid-season update, and finally, the end of summer reveal. But for the second year in a row, they've moved away from naming just one anthem. Instead, Spotify released a list of 5 tracks that, together, define the summer. The reason is simple: the way we consume music has changed. The days of one universal summer anthem may be fading. Listening is more global, more personal, and often shaped by platforms like TikTok as much as radio. Spotify says this list blends streaming data, cultural impact, and editorial insight to capture what really resonated. So, what did the summer of 2025 sound like? Not what most people expected. According to Spotify's analysis of the global top 50 from May through August, this was the least danceable and lowest energy summer for music in the past decade. They measured everything from tempos and beat strength to rhythm stability and regularity, and the numbers confirmed what listeners already felt. This summer was softer, slower, and more introspective. Instead of carefree anthems and high-octane party tracks, playlists leaned toward vulnerable lyrics, subdued instrumentals, and mood-driven sounds. Here are the 5 tracks Spotify says defined the season. Ordinary by Alex Warren. Shake It to the Max, Fly. Remix by MOLIY, Silent Addy, Skillibeng, and Shenseea. Love Me Not by Ravyn Lenae. Manchild by Sabrina Carpenter. Back to Friends by Sombr. Let's break down how each of these songs rose to the top and why they captured the summer's mood. Ordinary, Alex Warren. The biggest song of the summer was Ordinary by Alex Warren. It wasn't just a hit, it was the most streamed track of the summer on Spotify, and it also climbed to number 1 on Billboard's official Songs of the Summer chart. Warren wrote Ordinary as a heartfelt love letter to his wife, and the sincerity resonated across audiences. The track became a popular choice for weddings, anniversaries, and intimate celebrations. It wasn't a club anthem, but it didn't need to be. The ballad's emotional honesty struck a chord with millions. Its streaming peak came on June 12th, the day after Warren teased another single, On My Mind. By then, Ordinary had already become a cultural moment. To date, it has amassed nearly 940 million streams on Spotify, cementing Warren as a global superstar. But this is also where the controversy begins. Critics argue that while Ordinary dominated charts, it lacks the excitement of past summer songs. One NPR music writer noted that Ordinary is the song of the summer based on raw chart numbers, but it's hardly a windows-down beach banger like Espresso. Others have described it as safe, even boring compared to last year's explosive hits. Shake It to the Max, Fly, Remix, MOLIY, Silent Addy, Skillibeng, and Shenseea. If Ordinary represented the emotional side of summer, Shake It to the Max, Fly, Remix brought the energy. The track is a dancehall anthem that cut through the season's mellow mood with its infectious beat and celebratory vibe. This remix charted on Spotify's top 50 in more than 45 countries, including Belgium, France, Ghana, Jamaica, the Netherlands, and Singapore. It even reached number 1 in Trinidad and Tobago, fueling carnivals and street parties across the globe. Its combination of Caribbean rhythms, playful lyrics, and bold production made it stand out as the only truly high-energy pick on the list. Even now, as carnival season continues, Shake It to the Max is still climbing playlists, showing that global dance culture always finds a way to cut through quieter trends. Love Me Not, Ravyn Lenae. Next is Love Me Not by Ravyn Lenae, the track that gave her the breakthrough moment fans had been waiting for. Taken from her 2024 album Bird's Eye, the song mixes nostalgic grooves with soulful, vulnerable lyrics about insecurity and love. Spotify described the track as feeling like a hazy summer evening, and audiences agreed. On July 18th, Love Me Not hit its all-time streaming high. That same week, Lenae celebrated her first Billboard Hot 100 Top 10 hit and headlined Spotify's Songs of Summer Party in Los Angeles. It was the perfect convergence of streaming success and cultural recognition. The track now approaches 500 million Spotify streams, and critics say it's proof that Lenae has stepped onto the global stage for good. Manchild, Sabrina Carpenter. No conversation about summer music is complete without Sabrina Carpenter, and 2025 was no different. Last year, she dominated with Espresso, which critics and fans alike called an instant classic. This summer, she returned with Manchild, the first single from her upcoming album, Man's Best Friend. Released on June 5th, the song blends sharp, cheeky lyrics with moments of vulnerability, showing Carpenter's ability to reinvent while keeping her pop sensibility intact. It quickly shot to the top of Spotify's US Daily Top Songs, where it spent 25 consecutive days at #1. First, but critics argue it couldn't replicate the magic of Espresso or Please, Please, Please. As Guardian writer Sam Wolfson put it, while Carpenter stayed on top, Manchild didn't deliver the same explosive cultural moment as her 2024 hits. Still, 2 summers in a row at the top of playlists is a feat few pop stars can claim. Back to Friends, Sombr. Rounding out the list is Sombr's Back to Friends. This stripped-down, emotionally raw track became one of the year's most unexpected anthems. The LA-based artist, born Shane Michael Booz, saw his monthly Spotify listeners surge from 8 million at the start of the year to over 54 million by August. On August 8th, Back to Friends recorded its highest streaming day ever, fueled in part by viral TikTok trends that featured the song in breakup edits and nostalgic videos. By the end of the summer, Sombr not only had a top 5 summer song, but also 2 tracks in Spotify's global top 10. It's the kind of leap that transforms a rising act into a household name. Broader observations. Taken together, Spotify's top 5 reflect a very different type of summer. Gone are the carefree bangers and beach party anthems. Instead, 2025 leaned into introspection, vulnerability, and international influence. From a wedding ballad to a dancehall remix to an indie rock confession, this year's soundtrack told a quieter, more emotional story. All 5 songs also shared something else in common: TikTok virality. Each track gained traction on the platform, where short videos pushed them into new audiences. As one marketing professional told USA Today, "Everyone's designing music for a TikTok algorithm, and they're not actually making music that people want to listen to." This algorithm-driven cycle may explain why many listeners felt like the summer lacked a clear anthem. The hits burned bright, but did they have staying power? Critics' reactions. Was there even a song of the summer? Not everyone agrees with Spotify's list. Critics and fans alike have questioned whether 2025 even had a true song of the summer. Several point out that many of the season's chart leaders were holdovers from 2024. Songs like Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars' Die With a Smile and Kendrick Lamar and SEA's Luther continued to dominate charts well into this year. Out of Billboard's top 10 songs of the summer, only half were new releases, a stark contrast to 2024, when 9 out of 10 were fresh tracks. Slate music critic Chris Melanphy called the options hazy and boring, arguing that Ordinary is technically the winner, but still kind of a snooze. NPR's Stephen Thompson echoed that sentiment, saying the contenders felt stale and blamed algorithms and radio repetition for keeping older hits at the top. The Guardian's Sam Wolfson went further, suggesting there was no song of the summer at all. He pointed out that big releases from stars like Justin Bieber, The Weeknd, and Miley Cyrus failed to produce any cultural juggernaut. Even Carpenter's Manchild, which topped charts, couldn't recreate the phenomenon of espresso. Alternative picks by media outlets. If Spotify's list didn't impress the critics, what did? The Guardian leaned toward viral tracks and indie sounds, choosing Pink Pantheress's Illegal, Haim's Relationships, and Addison Rae's Headphones On. The New York Times asked 10 tastemakers, including actor Jeff Goldblum and political candidate Zohran Mamdani, for their picks. Their list ranged from Justin Bieber's Daisies to Lorfay's Lover Girl, with zero overlap with Spotify's or Billboard's rankings. NME spotlighted Pink Pantheress and Haim as well, while also naming Cat's Eye's Gnarly and Wet Legs' Catch These Fists. The split between data-driven charts and critic-curated lists shows just how fractured the idea of a Song of the Summer has become.